going to be working on the upper body. We're going to be doing some chest opening, some releasing into the neck, some releasing into the shoulders. So hopefully it's going to feel nice and relaxing. So we'll start in a seated position. Just check that you feel comfy in this sort of posture. If not, it might be better to sit on some cushions or blocks to make your hips a bit higher. And softening your gaze or closing your eyes. And just allowing your attention to come inwards. Just really allow yourself to land here. See if you can let any stories or distractions from your day just fade into the background. And just take all of your awareness and attention inwards. Directing that attention to your breath. And if you can, we'll send the breath in and out through the nose. And we'll just start to get a gentle movement in the belly. As you breathe in, see if you can expand the belly gently. And as you breathe out, allow the belly to relax. On the inhale, the belly is expanding. And on the exhale, it relaxes. Continue like this in your own breath. Keeping your face relaxed, your shoulders relaxed. And on your next inhale, let the arms float up. Tense the shoulders up. And then drop it down. And again, breathe in, tense up, stretch up, and drop. Come to some shoulder rolls. Take your shoulders up, around, and down. And really exaggerate this movement. See if you can get your arms involved, get elbows involved slightly. Stretch out through your hands. Let's get the jaw involved now as well. Stretch and open the mouth, maybe some sound comes out. Couple more here. And then on your next inhale, let the arms come up. Let that right hand come to your side and stretch into your side body. As you breathe in, send the top arm up, open that arm and look up. And as you breathe out, allow that elbow to come down and rotate. So on the inhale, stretch. And if the neck is happy, you're also looking up. And on the exhale, coming down. Two more like this. See how much space you can find in that chest. And rotating. And again, on our next inhale, we'll send those arms up. And find your way to the other side, reach and stretch over. And on the inhale, open that top arm. And on the exhale, we're closing down. Maybe each time the arm comes up, this movement gets a little bigger. Again, the space into your rib cage. Let's make this one your last one. And on the next inhale, send the arms up again. And this time we'll rotate, take that hand over to a knee and turn from your chest to look behind you. Stay in here for a breath. And then breathe the arms back to the front. And rotate the other way. Stretching, rotating from your chest. Allow yourself to come back to the front, let the arms open, let the fingers spread. And as you breathe out, we'll round this time. So dip in your head, let the fingers touch. And then breathe in and open your arms. Really appreciate the difference here as you round and dip. And on the inhale, we're opening. And then we round. And then and let your hands come behind you. Link your fingers. Draw the hands down and away and open your chest. And the option on the exhale to stay upright or to bow yourself forward. If you came forwards on your inhale, float yourself back up. Give those hands a nice little shake out. Let's kick out our feet. And we'll find our way to child's pose. Knees come out wide, big toes touch. Stretch the hands away and sink your chest down. At any point during the class today, if you just want to take it a little easy, child's pose is a lovely option just to come down to. Let your right hands come towards the right side of your mat. Pop the left hand on top and sink the hips back. Breathe into the side ribs. Pop the left hand to the other side, right hand on top. And again, sinking back. Walking your hands back into a kneeling position if this feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, you're welcome to come up a little higher. Just allow your right hand to come just behind you and stretch your left arm up. And if the neck is happy, start to look up. Take a breath in, and perhaps the hips also push up. To a gentle back bend, lifting and stretching and reaching up with that hand. One more breath in here. As you breathe out, floating down, let that left hand come to your side. Breathe the right hand up. Maybe rotating up with the head and the option to add in the hips. Awesome, float it down. Stepping forward with your right foot into your lunge. Framing the foot with the hands, starting to move forwards and back. Just checking how this hip feels today. And if that's feeling good on the inhale, come into present lunge, reach and stretch the arms up. And today we're going to take the hands wide, in a wide V, so you can really start to wrap your shoulders down. Nice. Spread your fingers, and there's maybe a little bit more of an opening here. Relax the jaw, relax your face. One more breath. Allow the left hand to come down, opening out to your side. And start to circle that right arm. And the option to watch the hand with the head and see how big a circle you can make. Next time that arm comes behind you, let it come all the way behind, and the back of your hand might find the small of your back, or you might be drawing it around to maybe find the top part of the left thigh, and rotate, perhaps have a little look behind you. Breathe. One more breath. On the next inhale, send that arm back up. As you breathe out, take it back down. Step back with that right leg. Give it a little shake if you need to. And find your way to plank pose. So you're welcome to stay low on your knees or to float the knees off the ground. And that's the case with every plank that we do today. Spreading the fingers, make sure there's no tension coming into your shoulders. Keeping the chin tucked, deep and full breath. One more breath. And then dropping your right knee, floating your left arm up, finding our way into a side plank. And today the option to stretch that top left hand towards the top of your mat and perhaps lifting the left leg off the ground. It's like you're on a weird torture device where you're being stretched from your fingers and toes. Keeping that breath deep and full. One more breath here. Awesome. Let hand and knee come down and sink back to child's pose. Maybe a breath out through the mouth as you land. Take a little moment here, stretching into your spine, and then we're floating back up. Come into a little cat-cow between, say, tabletop, and breathe in and open the chest, look forward, and breathe out and round. And breathe in, open. And then breathe out and round. And we'll be stepping forward with our left leg into lunge. Onto our fingertips to begin, so we move the hips forwards and back. And if it feels good for you on the inhale, adding in the arms, breathing up to that wide V shape today, so we can wrap our shoulders down and lift the chest. One more breath. Floating the right hand down and opening out to the side. And start to circle that left arm. Watch the hand as it comes around. And the next time that arm comes behind you, wrap it around. Maybe back a hand to low back, or coming round to a half bind. Draw yourself and have a little look over that left shoulder. Breathe. On your next inhale, send the arm back up. And as you breathe out, take it down, stepping back in to your plank, maybe a little shaking on the way. 3 breaths in your plank, keeping the chin tucked. Draw the tension away from the upper tracts. 1 more breath. And then lowering your left knee, breathe that right arm up. Finding your side plank. And we've got a couple of options today. That top arm stretching to the top of your mat, and or maybe the right foot floating off the ground. Try and get that feeling of lengthening all the way through the spine. Let's all take 1 more breath. Also let the hand and knee come down. We're going to find our puppy dog pose this time. Tuck in toes, let the hands stretch forward, and the chest comes down, keeping the hips high. One more breath here. And transitioning into downward dog. Letting the hands spread and root down, and floating the hips up. As you initially arrive, walk those heels up and down, find some space. See if you can draw the shoulders down and away from your ears. And then find some stillness, feet hip width apart, nice soft knees so we can gently press the chest down. Root and spread the hands for 3 more breaths. And on your next inhale, allowing the left leg to extend up. Push the ball of the foot away. And as you breathe out, step that leg forward, setting up for warrior 1. Rooting the back heel down, breathing the arms up. Bending into the front leg as you root down the back heel. Lovely. Breathe in, tense the shoulders, and drop it down. Start to extend your arms behind you, and you've got a few choices here. You're welcome to not do the arms. Have your little finger extending away as the highest point, or perhaps go in to reach behind you for the opposite elbow. So just feel into which one might feel right today. Drawn in through the center slightly, breath in, gentle look up. As you breathe out, tip slightly forwards. So seeing if you can find a straight line from the top of your head through your spine, through that back leg into your heel. Remember, you can always let go of this arm position at any point. Take another breath in. On the exhale, perhaps coming slightly further forward. Try and keep the hips square. On the next exhale, perhaps you're draping over that front leg. Keep extending back with the back heel. Keeping your breath deep and full. One more breath here. Then draw yourself halfway up. Take the weight into the front leg. Option for a warrior 3. Catching your balance. Welcome to stay high or tip forward. You can always let go of the arms if you need to. Keeping that breath full. One more breath here. Landing back into warrior 1. And release the arms. Awesome. We're going to open out to our triangle. So you may want to step that right foot back slightly. And then we're straightening the left leg. Yeah, right. Look along your left hand. And start to lean to the left side. See where the left hand falls as we open out the right arm into our triangle. Really trying to get the body to face the side. And today the option is for this top hand, the right hand, to come behind you into a half bind. So the back of the hand to the low back or sneaking round to the upper left thigh. Only if your head feels super happy, start to turn the head to the left. Breathe. One more breath. And keep the bind, breathe it in as you float up and extend that left arm up. Maybe there's a gentle back bend. Awesome. Float the arms back out. Breathe in, tense the shoulders and drop it down. Awesome. Cartwheel those arms down towards that left leg so you're in your lunge. Root down the right hand and breathe and open that left arm. Take a breath here and then take it down, stepping back into plank. 2 breaths. And if the knees are not already down, welcome to drop them down as we wrap the elbows to transition all the way to the ground. And then breathing into spins, taking the forearms down, rooting the feet down, lifting the chest. Try not to strain the neck, gaze is looking slightly down. Find that opening in your collarbones. And if it's comfortable to, stay here for just another couple of breaths and have a look at me. As I float down, I'm going to reach back to take hold of my fingers behind me. And there's just a couple of options here. One is to just do the arms and see if they float off your hip. The next is to do the feet. And then you may want to lift the head. If you do lift the head, keep looking down. So when you're ready, find this posture. Decide which level you'd like to go to. You might be just using the hands, adding in the feet, or maybe lifting the head, keeping the chin tucked for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Awesome. Coming out of the posture, transition back to downward facing dog. Feel power, float your way there. Take a little breath out with your mouth as you land. Stay in here for 5 breaths. Gently extending the chest down. Hips come high. And on the next inhale, take the right leg out, 3-legged dog, push that ball of the foot away. Taking 1 more breath, and then stepping forward to warrior 1. Breathe the arms up, sinking into your front leg as you stretch up. Breathe in, tense the shoulders, and drop. Awesome. Let's extend our arms behind us again. It might be that we keep the arms straight with the little fingers reaching, or taking the opposite elbow with the other forearm even on top. Square yourself off to the front, bending into the front knee. Breathe in, lift the chest, As you breathe out, just come part way forwards. Tuck in your chin. Find length all the way through the back of your neck, all the way through the spine. Keep your back heel rooted. Deep and full breath. I'm very welcome to stay higher, maybe tipping a little further. Or you might be bowing over the front leg. If you've come forwards, draw yourself carefully up, coming into warrior three, taking the weight into that leg, extending the back leg out behind you. Welcome to stay high. We might have a go at tipping forward, keeping the back foot strong, squaring off your hips to the ground. Taking one more breath and land it back into your warrior one. Letting go. Give it a little shake out. Lovely. Extend the arms out. Rotate yourself. We're going to set up for our triangle. So you'll step that left foot back slightly, keeping the right foot turned down. Arms shoulder height as we start to lean towards that right side. And just see where the right hand falls as we open out to the side. Added option today is this left hand coming behind you, either to the low back or into a half bind. We might be drawing that top shoulder back and perhaps looking to the left. Keeping the breath deep and full. On your next inhale, extend, possibly keeping the bind as we reach and stretch that right arm up. Maybe a gentle back bend. Awesome. Float the arms back out, breathe in, tense up. Drop it down. And cartwheel the arms towards that right leg. Find yourself in a low lunge. Root down the left hand and open out to the right side. One more breath. And float it down, stepping back to plank for 2 breaths. Wrap the elbows, taking the chest all the way to the ground. Breathing in for spins. You might want to come a little higher maybe in your cobra, as long as there's no tension in your shoulders. One more breath. Float it down, make a little pillow for your chest. Drop down that forehead and shake out your hips. And the option to repeat the back bend, reaching back with your hands. Pop your other thumb on top and see the options of reaching back with the hands, maybe floating them off the hips, maybe lifting the feet, and the option to lift the head. Keep the chin tucked. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Awesome. Let that go. Transitioning back, your class, your choice. You might rest in child's pose or come back to downward dog for 5 breaths. Whichever one you come to, find some space. Those working in downward dog, see if you can draw the shoulders down and away. A little bit more tricky when you're upside down. Awesome. If you've been resting, find your way back to downward dog. Just see if you feel happy to come onto the fingertips of your right hand. Or it may be that you reach the hand partly underneath you. Or it might be that you can reach your left knee or the outside of your left ankle and turn and look under your armpit for 2 breaths. One more breath. Well done. Pop that hand back. Walk towards your feet. Come into forward fold. Taking hold of the opposite elbow and gently rocking side to side with soft knees. I'm going to walk back out to downward dog. And the option to repeat that on the other side. So you might just be working with fingertips, hand coming into the middle, or the hand on the outside of the right knee or right ankle. Turn and look under your right armpit. 2 full breaths. 1 more breath. Well done. Place that hand back, drop the knees down, puppy dog pose. Let the hands come forward and the chest come down. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up and step your right foot forward once more. We're going to breathe the arms back up into our present lunge. Might feel a bit more warmer now. Might be able to sink in a little bit more. Having that wide V with the hands still today. Take a deep and full breath in. On your next inhale, let the arms come behind you. And then as you breathe in, lean forward and swoop the arms up. Breathing out, opening behind you. Breathing in, coming forwards. 1 more time. And again, open those arms up. Lift your chest. 1 more breath. And taking your hands down. Step back, give that right leg a nice little shake out. And sink back to child's pose. Just see how the chest feels. See how the shoulders feel. And on the inhale, come back up, step that left foot forward. And again, finding our crescent lunge once more. Opening and sinking through. As much as we're opening up through the chest, we're also relaxing the shoulders. 1 more breath. And the option to find that movement, let the arms come behind you, and then as you breathe in, lean forwards. Breathe out as it comes back. Breathing in. And out. Next time those arms come up, hold them up once more. Perhaps a gentle back bend. 1 more breath. Awesome, let the hands come down. Step that foot back. An option of stone pose this time, knees and feet together. The head will find the ground or your local cushion. The hands come back with the palms facing up. Take some full and deep breath. On your next inhale, walk yourself up to a kneeling position. If kneeling is not comfortable for you for a few minutes, it'd be better to take a seat. We're going to stretch and open the shoulders. You breathe your right arm up. And as you breathe out, let that hand tuck behind you. And with the other hand, take hold of your elbow and encourage it behind. So a few checks as we do this. It's really easy to start to use the jaw too much. So let that go. Try and allow the shoulders to come down, and then try and keep the rib cage down. The tendency to flare the ribs with this one, so we're trying to keep this all tucked in. And then taking that left arm out to the side, reach and go round with the thumb, and see if the hands will find each other. If you have a strap handy, you're welcome to use that. If you don't have a strap and your hands don't find each other, take hold of your t-shirt or your jumper. You might be working at this, or you might be working at holding part of your top. It's good to have something as a little bit of resistance if you can. Notice what's happened to the breath as you come into the stretch. Very easy to lose the breath here. Can we take the rib cage back down if that started to flare? 1 more breath. Let that go. Breathe the arms open. breathe out round. Arch that spine. Breathe in, open. And breathe out round. Awesome. Have a little shake. Come to some shoulder rolls. And then really exaggerate the shoulder roll. Bit of a stretch in the jaw. Lovely. Turn your fingers outwards. Let your palms come down either side of your knees. Probably need to lean forward slightly to get that. And draw your shoulders away from your ears. So you'll probably be a bit tense like this to start. Draw them away, and the option to add in a lion's breath. One more time. Lovely. Let the hands come off, give them a little shake. Come forwards, just release your ankles briefly, do a little circle, do a little stretch, do a little pat at the tops of the feet. And if you're happy to, reset back into your kneeling posture to do the other side, or feel free to come to a seated posture. As you breathe your left arm up, drop it behind. Take in hold of your elbow and encourage that behind. Let's do our checks. Think about your jaw, think about your rib cage. Find the ease in the posture. Letting go, wrap it around. Aim, lead with the thumb, and see where that hand might fall. If it doesn't quite comfortably find those fingers, please take hold of your top, or if you have a strap, that's great. And again, see if you can reset. Try not to flare the ribs, keep the chin tucked. Go. Breathe the arms open. Breathe out and round your spine. One more time, let's open. And round. Do another stretch for the wrist. If the last one felt a bit intense, repeat that, because this one's more intense. So the option this time is to have the back of your hands down, your fingers pointing back. And have a little go at straightening at the elbow. And again, if it's too much, please come back to the other option. And then consciously draw the shoulders away from the ears, and the option to add in the lion's breath. And again. Nice. Well done. Let those hands come off, give them a little shake. Let the hands come forward, release your feet, circle the ankles, pat them down. And let's do another puppy dog pose. Tuck in the toes, stretching the hands forward and allowing the chest to come down. And draw yourself back up. Do your tabletop. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And breathe your right arm up, look up. And as you breathe out, thread the needle, have the palm facing up. And make sure your shoulder and head find the ground. If not, you may want to pop a cushion under your head. Option with this left hand is to stretch forward. Keep it in front of you, or come for the bind. Wrapping the arm around and starting to draw and open through the left shoulder. Again, relaxing into the face. Primarily here we want to do a shoulder opening stretch, but you're welcome to add in a balance. If you're going for the balance, it might be better to pop this left hand back down in front of your nose. Then you'll be taking the weight into your right knee, and then there's the option to extend your left leg. If you've gone for the balance, floating the knee back down. And then everyone press that left hand in front of the nose. And breathe your right arm up. Stretch, reach, look up. And then stretch that right arm towards the front of your mat. We get our possessed hands, that's when your hands point down with loads of tension in the hand, and reach your fingertips as far as you can forward. So you're creating like a spider sort of shape with the hand. Push your hips back and have a little look under your right armpit, but keep that activation in the hand. We're seeing if we can get a stretch into the right armpit. Keep pushing the hips back, keep that tension in the arm. Taking one more breath. Awesome. Coming back up, breathe that right arm back up once more. And this time we're going to extend it out to our right side and come onto our belly. It's going to extend palm down, shoulder height as we roll onto our right side. So I've now got that arm behind me with the palm facing down. So you'll need to check that your head feels supportive enough. If it's a bit too intense on the shoulder, just take that arm lower. Options as ever, to keep this left hand here for support. Or you breathe it up and take again the back hand to the small of your back into that bind position. The lower body, you're welcome to lift up the left leg and see if the left foot finds the ground. So a little bit of a hip opening add on, but you don't have to do that. Breathe. One more added extra if you want it. This left hand might find your left foot. Please don't worry if it doesn't. If it does, push the foot into the hand to have an added shoulder stretch. Let's take one more breath. If you have hold of the foot, let's let that go first. Take that left hand back in front of the nose, carefully roll onto your belly, retrieve your right arm, make a little pillow with the forehead and your hands, and just shake out the hips. Taking 3-4 belly breaths here. And we're transitioning back. You might decide to rest in child's pose or come to downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Opening into that chest. Final breath here. Dropping down to the knees, or if you're in child's pose, find your way to tabletop. And breathe into your cat-cow, lifting up the chest as you breathe out round. Breathe in and open. And then let it go. Coming back to neutral. Breathe the left arm up. And as you breathe out, thread the needle, palm faces up, head and shoulder find the ground. And again, the choice is with the right hand to keep it where it is. Extend it forward, or you might be going for the bind. Whichever option you go for, keeping that breath deep and full. Again, Please don't lose the integrity of the shoulder stretch. But if you want to add in the balance, I'd recommend popping the hand in front of the nose first, taking the weight into the left knee and extending the right leg. If you went for the balance, float that leg down first, and then everyone pushing down in front of the nose, breathe that left arm up. As you breathe out, extend it to the front of your mat, get your possessed hand, reach and stretch that hand as far forward as you can, and then take your hips away, and then you'll be peering under that left armpit, keeping that active hand. One more breath. Come back up, reach and stretch that left arm up one more time. And then we're transitioning onto our stomach and extending the left hand out to the left side with the palm facing down, shoulder height, and rolling it onto our left side. And the options here, again, this right arm may stay where it is. We might be breathing it high and taking the back of the hand to the low back. Option of bending the right leg, the toes finding the ground behind you. Keeping the breath deep and full. Make sure there's no pain. Make sure the head is supported. Final add-on. Please don't worry if it doesn't work for you, but the hand might find the foot. If it does, push the foot into the hand. If you've got a hold of that foot, let it go. Please be mindful as you roll back onto your belly. Retrieve that arm, tuck in the chin, make a pillow for the forehead, shake out the hips, and find 3 full belly breaths. Awesome. Careful as you draw yourself back up onto your knees. Now we're going to come to some chest opening now. If you have a yoga bolster, that's ideal. If you don't, have 2 pillows in the same orientation, or you might have 4 cushions. Yeah. Height-wise, it does depend on your spine. So when you set yourself up, you can check obviously that it's comfortable. I'll show you the position and then see what you've got at home and see what works best for you. So you have your hips on the ground, bolster or pillow cushions behind you, and then you carefully lie back, and your head has to be supported. So do make sure that you've got something comfortable under the head. And essentially we're trying to have the spine slightly extended, so you want to feel that the rib cage is slightly flared and that the arms can relax to your sides. You'll get a bit of a stretch across the pecs. If it feels too high, you may need a bit more of a support under the head. You don't want your chin to be poking up. And or, if it's a bit too much on your low back, maybe you need the hips a little bit higher. So depending on what props you're using, just take a moment to get yourself comfy. So this is a restorative posture, so it should feel delightful. I don't want you lying there thinking, oh God, you know, when's this going to be over? You should be able to completely relax into this, okay? If you're at home and you're really not sure and it doesn't feel good, maybe just come out of this and feel free to come to another posture like child's pose. We'll start with our knees bent and your palms facing up. And just take some 4 deep breaths into your chest to begin. As you breathe in, I'd like you to feel the front of your chest expand. And as you breathe out, the chest relaxes. So feel where those front ribs insert into your sternum and see if you can appreciate some movement there as you breathe in. And then breathe out, allowing it to go. A few more like this in your own breath. You're very welcome to just relax and ignore the next couple of options, but for those that would like to try it, you can add in, it's almost like a bit of a snow angel if you know what that is. So you have your back of your hands on the ground and you slide the hands up and slide the hands down. Don't worry if your hands don't quite find the ground, it will obviously depend how high your support is. Some of you might be able to slide the hands all the way up above the head, or they might be hovering in the air, and then slide them back. As long as there's no sharp pain in your shoulder. If there is, avoid that little bit, don't push into it. If you have any jewellery or a watch on, do be a little bit careful as well that you don't scratch it. Welcome to continue like this, or you might play with the arms floating up and over, and then sliding down the side. You can really do whatever you like. It can also feel quite nice to have the arms above your head and take the hand onto the opposite elbow and then drop it back. For the last few breaths, if you haven't already, you're welcome to extend the feet away if it's comfy on your low back, or you might be finding butterfly, taking the soles of your feet together and the knees out wide. Coming back to that full breath into your chest. Finding 3 more deep and full breaths. If you've had your knees wide, just carefully draw them back together. And the safest way is to roll to the side. And then carefully bring yourself back to your seated position. Have your knees bent and make a little pillow with your hands. So you're welcome to use one of your pillows if you've got one handy. Or cross the forearms over and drop your head down. And I'd like you to round your spine with this. So we're coming to the opposite position of the spine. And now as you breathe, I'd like you to focus on the middle part of your spine, so the area between your shoulder blades. So on the inhale, see if you can get the back ribs there to move. On the exhale, they would relax. Three more breaths like that into the center part of your spine. Lovely. When you've finished your breaths, draw yourself upright. Just have one hand on each knee. And just allow yourself to sit up really tall. So you're just finding a neutral spine a moment. Using the leverage of your knees to help you. You can always take your feet a bit wider if that helps. And just take a couple of breaths here. coming towards the end of the class, coming to our relaxation, our savasana. So do find a moment to get yourself comfy. If you've got a bolster pillows, you might like to have that under your knees. If you've got an extra cushion, you might want to pop that under your head, or pop a blanket over you, or something to cover your eyes. Relaxing your arms out to the side. If lying on your back doesn't quite work for you today, you're very welcome to come onto your side, or any other posture really that you find relaxing. Those practicing at home, it's really important to include this as part of your practice. The ease after the effort. It can be easy to try and skip this part, but if you can, really see this as part of the complete practice of then allowing ourselves to let go. So often we don't give ourselves the opportunity to just rest. But over the next few breaths, focusing on your exhale, and on that exhale, just see if you can find a little bit more space. Allow the shoulders to relax away and down. Allow the face to relax. Make sure you're not frowning. The tongue should just sit at the top of your mouth, so the tip of the tongue is just behind the front teeth. And that position for the tongue should allow a bit more space in your jaw. Feel into your chest, gently not holding any heaviness there. If it does feel a bit tight maybe over the next couple of breaths, see if you can find a bit more space again in that chest. See if you can relax your back body down into your mat a little bit more. No need to hold any tension in your belly now. You're not purposefully doing any belly breath. Your breath is just what it is. Not forcing, not changing the breath. As you allow your hips to open outwards, relaxing down. The lower leg, the foot might just roll slightly outwards. And the fingers may curl slightly upwards. I'm going to leave you here for a couple of minutes, and I'll let you know when to come back. Taking your awareness back to your breath. Send some deep and full breaths into your belly and your chest. So as you breathe in, allow an As you breathe out, relax. 3 more breaths like this. An option to take your fingers up to your face and start to run your fingertips across your forehead. Start in the middle of your forehead and draw them across down towards the temples. Rub across. Bring your fingertips down to your cheeks and start to gently rub and circle into both of your cheeks. At the same time, you can open and close your mouth. Careful if you have any jewelry, but taking the fingertips to the lobes of the ears and give them a gentle pull down, a gentle circle. And again, you can stretch the jaw at the same time. Letting the hands gently come down either side of the neck. Rub those fingers down the muscles at the side of your neck. Maybe rub in the fingers to the back of the neck, starting from the nape of the neck, coming down towards the shoulders. And then taking the fingers onto the shoulders, the upper traps, give them a little knead. You can really grip this one. You can never really do it too hard. Wake up those muscles there. Give them a little bit of space. Also shake the hands back out. Find your way onto your side. And you're in absolutely no rush, but finding your way eventually back to a seated position with a tall spine. Maybe keep your gaze low or your eyes closed when you arrive. And once you've landed, just for one more time, take that attention back inwards. See how you are. See if anything has shifted in the past hour. And then on the next inhale, send your arms up. As you breathe out, take your hands into your heart center. One more time for that. Breathe the arms up, breathe in some energy. Breathing out. Taking your head, hands and heart towards the ground. Give yourself a big load of thanks for showing up to your mat today.